Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio is rated M for mature, or should that be immature?
Grumps and Gramps, tons of laughs with Grumps and Gramps. Grumps and Gramps, tons of laughs with Grumps and Gramps. Grumps and Gramps, tons of laughs with Grumps and Gramps.
Hello, welcome back to the Grumps and Gramps show. As you can see, this is going to be a little bit different. My name is Gramps from Dallas, Texas.
TZ from New Jersey. This is the G&T Takeover, episode number 25.
Episode 25 of Grumps and Gramps, the G&T Takeover. So, all right. How's it been going, man?
Good, man. It's almost the end of the week, and we get to talk about figs. I'm surrounded by about 30 or 40 of them, so we got a lot to cover and catch up on. And
yeah, because, it's been, I don't know,
couple weeks,
a month, I guess.
Yeah,
It's been way too long, but life gets in the way. But
and if you miss 1 week out of the fig life, you're out of the race, man.
It's nuts. I don't know about you, but it's almost like in that month time, so many of my stuff that I'd pre-ordered just started coming, and it was just like every day something new box arriving, and I was just like, oh my gosh.
Especially if you're buying from Big Bad Toy Store. I know you guys, you and Grumps do a lot, and you just buy stuff that you just don't think of, and all of a sudden it just shows up. You get that notification, and you're like, oh shit, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Like yesterday I got the notice for that, the 20th anniversary Hulk fig or something like that, but I didn't even know I ordered it. Like, I thought I just had it on, added to cart. I never knew I like pre-ordered it. So I'm actually looking forward to getting that one, even though like I'm really happy with the previous Hulk. We don't need that many Hulk figs, but this one was hard to pass up on. So
yeah, I need a good Hulk one. I think
Diamond selected that
Grumps,
one. That was really good.
Yeah. I think the one that I saw Grumps have is the Marvel Select version, and it looked like the best Hulk figure that I've seen, because every one of them's a little different. It's almost like I wish we could kind of Franken Hulk a figure together, because there's some that I like the torso and the arms and shoulders better, and then some I like the head sculpt and the mean face better, and then some I like his torn pants better on this one. It's almost like I'd like to Franken Hulk a fig together.
There's your $1 million idea. Yeah, for sure. Like, just it's like a build a fig, and it's like a build your own Hulk fig.
Yeah, I know. What happens to me is I forget that I ordered them, kind of like you, and then I find them in the store and I buy it, and then the one that I ordered shows up, which is exactly what happened. And this is kind of my little segue with what happened with this guy. Because
that's one way to start an episode, talking about this guy.
I mean, this guy, he just started hitting the store probably in the last week, 2 weeks, and
this guy looks like you go away on vacation and someone forgets to flush the toilet, and you open up your door, this guy's waiting for you.
Yeah, I mean, and he's not a small guy.
No. I'm surprised you actually saw him in the stores, because I was able to get him on GameStop literally the week before it went on sale, and then, you know, they had a nice sale, and everyone and their mother was buying this figure. But
Well,
it's
yeah,
a
you're
really
the one
fun
that
fig.
showed me. You're the one that showed me the sale that was on GameStop, because GameStop, it was like, I don't know, what, 33, 34.
Yep.
And I just happened to, you know, I was like, oh, that's a great price. And I picked him up, and yeah. Dude, he's like,
He
he's a
you know what's
massive.
cool about him? He's massive. You know, he's part of what McFarlane's mega figs that are $40, and I think this is really cool because he's, you know, he's redeemed himself with these figures, because for $40, you know, he is very selective. You know, I think he's really, whatever the mega fig is, definitely worth getting. You know, we got the Swamp Thing last time. We got this guy.
Yeah.
For the money, I wish there was a couple more things that came with it, but it's nice to have something in this scale to go up against Batman
Right.
or
Yes.
anyone.
He's big enough that he'll go up against your McFarlane 7-inch scale. He'll go up against, you know, it's
Mezco.
Clayface. He's
Right.
a Mezco. It's Clayface. He's kind of one of these shapeshifter type of guys where he can be any size. He can go down to Batman size, but you
Right.
want some, you know, beef to this guy. He is beefy. Now, I do have some complaints about him. Obviously, like you said, he doesn't come with like interchangeable hands that you would want or see from
Right.
Clayface, where you have a
The
hammer or the
ball and
spikes
chain,
and
or
all.
spike.
Yeah, and his elbows are really stiff.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I had to heat mine up for like, I don't know, a good while just to be able to move them like 1/8 of an inch. I mean, you're not going to get much articulation out of the elbows. What is surprising is how well articulated his hips and legs are. Like, he can do the splits. I didn't expect that. His but the sculpt is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. This kind of has like Freddy Krueger vibes. When you zoom in, you're really seeing like all the people, all the things
Yeah,
that are trapped inside of him.
he
Down
has
to
like
it's very geographic. You see hands, you see faces that are
faces.
trying to escape. Like, has a Nightmare on Elm Street. This also reminds me, not to be jumping around, but this kind of reminds me of like the Star Wars Rancor a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wish that, like you said before, like I wish there was more an expressions pack to kind of switch over his head. So when you're doing more photography, you can kind of just take it to the next level and kind of bring more of an expression to his face, because it's a little stark because you can't move the jaw. But overall, I'm still really happy with this. The sculpt, this is all about the sculpt, like you said. Once you get him standing, he's really cool. You don't really want his arms to go up too much because he has these exposed ball joints. So it's really kind of a lower pose, but still really fun. And I think this figure has been really highly anticipated. And he's also got other great figures coming out, like the Man Bat, Killer Croc, I believe, is coming down the pipe too. So
Oh, really?
these really cool, animated series characters that we love so much really have this more horrific horror inspired setup. So this was definitely a home run for me, Farley. I kind of want to have like a backup one.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm thinking about the paint application on this thing is really good, and it's really simple for what he is. Like you said, he's kind of got that turd brown look to him. I mean, he's got some sheen in certain places. He's got some like orange, rustic, spots. He's not just a flat brown. He's got some different shades to him. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing like kind of a deep
dry brush.
Well, first I'm going to do like just a wash with like a black or a darker brown, and then some dry brushing to really make those details pop, especially like the faces that you see on his shoulder and back.
Yeah,
those are
they've
really
also
cool.
they've also, in order to help him articulate, they've also mixed this hard plastic with some rubber plastic.
Yeah.
So this really makes this clunky figure kind of move, which is really is very seamless because they match the colors really well. And like you said, they start hitting these accents on the arms, but
Yeah.
it really allows you to really capture a lot of detail and give him a little more movement and give. So
Right. Yeah, his torso is kind of a more flexible plastic, almost a rubbery feel to it, and it works well for the design.
Yeah, it makes it look more realistic.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know, is he a perfect figure? No, but is he worth the money? Yes. So
Right.
he's good to have. So I ended up with 2 of them, and I'm like, oh
Oof.
man.
Okay. Yeah, I think this guy's a solid 8.5.
8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, that's a fair rating.
Okay.
One guy I also grabbed.
Like you said, he's a must-have.
Yeah, he's a must-have. I mean, you know, because he's going to allow you to do so much in your toy photography. I mean, just a simple pose of him with his arms up next to a Batman. I mean, come on, you know, you're there.
I think that's the beauty of it too. It's like you can literally, like, I imagine him more with the Mezco figures because of it just makes him so much more bigger.
Right.
But what's cool about that is he can literally be mixed up with any Batman figure because he's so generic, you know.
Right. And I mean, even I was thinking about that the other day when I got him, because I've still got some of those. What were they? DC icons or DC Essentials?
The J-Sig Fabric ones, yeah, the one Jason.
The smaller. I mean, they're like 5.5 inches. And I was like, wow, put this up next to him and he will just be massive.
Right.
Another guy that I picked up from GameStop on that same order was Martian Manhunter.
Oh, nice. Dude. Yeah, you guys got him early.
This dude is sick.
I mean, listen, man, like the Bath Force Times says, how do they do this for $20? You know, it's like
because I've wanted a John Jones Martian Manhunter figure for so long, but I didn't like the ones that were available, and I love the design on this one. You know, my only real complaint is that he didn't come with like extra hands. I would have liked to have some additional hands, and his purple cape kind of swoops out to the right side a little bit, which, you know, that's fine because I can do some posing where, you know, he's floating in the air or whatnot, or I can just find, you know, a wired cape online and replace it.
Yeah, that was my first reaction because I haven't seen this figure in person, but you could just tell that the molded cape really restricts the figure, and I think that's one of McFarlane's flaws that he does with Spawn a lot. That it has that rubbery molded cape. As great as it looks, it just limits the figure. So, you know, like you said, if you can get a fabric one on eBay or Etsy or whoever, you know, makes these capes, I think it makes it so much more realistic.
Oh yeah, and I mean, he's one of these characters. You know, he's a 7-inch scale figure, but he's going to work with, you know, your Mezcos or any other line because, I mean, he's a Martian. He's an alien.
Right. He's massive.
He's going to be massive. He's going to be a big dude. And he's also a shapeshifter, or he can change your perception of him. So him being a little bigger than, your standard 112 kind of a Marvel Legend size figure, that's fine. It works for him.
Yeah.
But I would definitely recommend grabbing this dude.
I feel like with the recent releases, I feel like McFarlane has kind of got over that little drought. I felt like we were seeing this just peg warmers, rinse, recycle, repeat. We were seeing a heavy flow of the same figures for a while. Again, he's predominantly all Batman driven, but I think now I've seen in the stores at least 2 or 3 new waves. I saw the Black Adam, I believe, set with the new Wonder Woman. So yeah, they're finally hitting targets. And since we're on McFarlane, I was able to grab the Lobo fig. I've been eyeing him. I've been eyeing him for a while. I've always loved Lobo, even growing up. Ever since he was beating up Santa Claus in that Christmas episode, that's how I learned about him. And then from the new video game, the Gotham Knights, there's the Red Hood figure. These are pretty interesting. Yeah, this is the game version, and he's really neat because I think if you had him, he comes with 2 hands. He's making these hand gestures, but especially since you can't have guns anymore. But he's very tactical looking. He has kind of like this leather outfit going on, so a little repaint I think would really make him dramatic. But I'm very curious about this video game, but also the new iterations of Nightwing. The BLVUS figure looks really good, so if I see him, I'd probably get all of them.
The BLVUS figure was probably the one that I was interested in most. I did not like the Nightwing. Just his torso just looked weird. It made him look fat.
I think initially too, I think they made Nightwing taller than Batman in the beginning. So who knows? I don't think they really captured it.
It looks like he's wearing a poncho or something. I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, Red Hood is, this is definitely a little more grimace looking.
Right.
His mask is not very shiny. It's very matte, so it's kind of a tactical version of him. So yeah, that one was a winner. I was excited to find that one. Actually, I think I got on Amazon for $13 one day. They had like an insane, yeah. So, and then my newest pickups from McFarlane was I completed the the Dark Knight Return set. So I finally got Superman. So hopefully this weekend I could.
His weird face.
Yeah, he looks. I'm obsessed with just getting the horse. Oh, there you go.
I mean, the best figure in this whole wave to me is Carrie.
Yeah, and thank you, Amazon, because when I bought Carrie the first time, I got the platinum version. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I hated it, but then I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. I have to keep it. You can't return that, So the next day, I ordered the colored one, and she came in fine. So yeah, this Carrie Kelly was really impressive because I think it lines up really nicely against the Mafix one, and it might even be better because I feel like the scale is about right. I felt like the Mafix was.
Yeah, how tall is this one? Like, if you could.
I mean, I think she's at least 6. She's got to be at least 6. But the likeness is perfect. This looks like right out of the comics. Her glasses just just hang over her face. Mm-hmm. There's a nice little sheer yellow hint. So to me, this might be probably the best Carrie Kelly. The one that Mattel did back in the day was cool, but this articulation looks really good. So this would be my primary one to sync up with the other DKR. And then this was the platinum one, thanks to Amazon. But you know what? I'm not mad at this one. This is cool. You can't go wrong with any DKR figure that you get in a matte artist proof version. I think is really cool. I'm really dying to get the Batman one. That's the one that I want the most. I've seen a lot of toy photographers kind of repaint him in that mud scene where he's fighting the mutant leader.
Yeah.
People have done really cool versions of that. The Joker, it's a hit or miss. I feel like Mafix landed the likeness the best. I think Todd took a lot of liberties with this one, and
that's my thing. Is
the
head sculpts on this wave for three of those guys? It's like it looks like they just mashed their heads and squeezed their heads. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and I don't know why they didn't get the Batarang. Like, why didn't we get another head sculpt of the Batarang through the eye? Or it's like he didn't capture these iconic scenes of DKR. It's just like a no-brainer, I feel like Mafix offered way more, but again, you're also paying you're in a whole new price range. So
true.
Still cool. He looks more of a henchman this time, but I just want to get the horse. I paid for $100 horse. But yeah, well, I mean, Carrie Kelly's a home run. If you can get Carrie Kelly, and depending on whether or not you want to complete the wave, if you get Carrie Kelly, I think that's the best one to date that's out.
Cool. Now that's a good segue into something that recently arrived for me, and that was the Mafix Armored Batman from DKR.
Wow.
I mean, this dude. First off, he's pretty big. You can't. I don't know. Mafix always hits a home run with their sculpt, and I mean this is a perfect comic likeness to the armored suit that he wears at the very end, fighting Superman. They even include an unmasked, pissed off head. They include the acid that he squirts in Superman's eyes. They include the little smoke screen canister and the sound wave gun. He's got a arrangement of different hands. He comes with a stoic, no expression armored head, and then he comes with a pissed off armored head. So you can, get some great photos of him, fighting Superman, or if you want to do some photos kind of related to Dark Knight 3, where he's fighting the other Kryptonians,
I think years ago, you were one of the first people that weren't you putting the Bruce head on the Mattel figures a long time ago? I don't know if that was a mashup or just a concept, but
I was putting. What was I putting?
I remember you did a photo, and I was like, damn, Gramps could shoot, because you did a Batcave scene where he's walking out and he's in the armored suit and he had just old man Bruce's face.
Yeah, I forget which head I used, but I mean, yeah, that Mattel figure, I mean, from years ago. That, I mean, for $20, I mean, the value in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
That Mattel figure looks just like this, except this has got full range of articulation.
Right.
But I mean, if you put them side by side, you're like, wow, for $20, Mattel really gave you some value with that.
Right.
Because for years I was like, you know what? I want to rip off this cape and put a cloth cape on him, on that Mattel figure. But then when I found out this was coming out, I was like, well, no point in doing it.
I think I was going to say before, that's one of the beauties about Mafix is, and it's also the same with Mezco, but you have 3 or 4 DKR Batmans. You can start swapping the old man Bruce's heads onto these other figures. Like, I would take the Triumphant one where his eye is barely open and he has a black eye, and put him on the suit one.
Yeah.
You have this like amazing toy photography scene where he's just battered and torn and fucked up. And
You definitely, and you can use this mean face here and put it on the cloth suit.
Right.
I mean, and that's the beauty of this is one, they're all in scale with each other, but two, they're all interchangeable because I have done that already.
Yeah.
And just taking a look at it, and they all
Yeah,
work.
and yeah, you can go black, you can go blue, and now all of a sudden now you have 3 or 4 different facial expressions and all these options that you never had years ago.
Right.
And they're fairly priced. You have to be a little strategic, but if you can get one for under $100 or $110, that's the going range for it.
Oh yeah, and
It's worth it. I was a little disappointed with the 2-pack because of Carrie, but
really,
overall, yeah, I felt like she was a little too small. I felt like the price that they were asking for, what was it, 150 for both, or was it more, 160 maybe? I felt like Carrie was so small, and that's why when I got this McFarlane one, I'm like, cool, I have options to kind of mix up these characters with each other.
okay, I
But
get it.
but
I just think that
realistically, Carrie is probably closer in scale to the comics with the Mafix because she's
yeah,
13 years old. So how tall could she be compared to Bruce?
right, and I mean, and the Mafex is a 112 scale, where the McFarlane's a 110 scale. It's a
Mhm.
7-inch scale. So that's why I was asking about the size of Carrie, because I'll be honest, I haven't found any of them yet in the wild. I mean, I've been kind of holding out to maybe see if they'll go on sale.
Right.
Because I mean, I've got so many DKR figures,
Yeah,
and
you're not in a rush to get them. You want to get
no,
them, but you're not like, I have to get them this weekend because
no,
yeah, you have to kind of watch Target. Target does like buy two get one free, or
right.
Amazon. After a while, they're kind of like liquidating some of these figures.
But if I'm could only have one, it would definitely be Carrie. Um, I was just wondering what her size is to see if she would, scale up with, a Mayfax or something like that. But yes, I mean, I love the Mayfax Carrie Kelly because, like you said, scale wise, on a 112 scale, she's small, petite. She's how a 13-year-old girl was, and also in the scenes that her and Batman are together, how she stands next to him. One, it makes Batman look so much bigger, but
Right.
you see in her, all that she's able to do for this small little girl just makes her that much, more awesome. And I love the Mayfax one because it's the first fully articulated Carrie.
Mhm.
The Mattel one, it was good, but it was limited. And with the Mayfax, you got different hands, you've got full range of motion, you've got a torso turn, you've got a wired cape, you've got
Right.
two heads. Um, I love it, but I do want this McFarlane one too.
Definitely. You can never have. Doesn't hurt to have three versions of Carrie on deck,
No.
because especially if you have so many Bruces, you want to mix it up. You want to have that
Now,
level of articulation where they're embracing each other in certain scenes, and he's kind of covering her and protecting her. So
right. Now, one thing that I've seen on the promo photos of that McFarlane one, it always seemed like her left leg, the knee was a little wonky. Is yours straight?
um, mine is straight, but the thing
Okay.
that I do have to say is it has the points of the joints are very exaggerated, and of course, that's the price to pay for. That's Todd's attempt to make a better articulated figure, and then he also has this kind of the kneecap, the knee, the
Hmm.
the top of the heel or the toe pivot, which is cool. It makes for something,
Right.
and also the ankles kind of have this ball joint
Yeah.
going on.
They love
But
that ball joint. I hate the ball joint. I was like, why
yeah,
can't you guys just figure out how to make a good seamless joint like a Marvel Legends? It's
Yeah,
not
I'm seeing
difficult.
I'm seeing too many points here, and it looks kind of like a little Pinocchio-ish. But
Right.
I'm willing to look over it because the rest of the suit. What's really cool is the R on here is like really exaggerated and
Yeah.
big, and it looks like it makes the outfit look makeshift, which is really cool because
Well, and that
that's
was
what
the
she
point
did.
of her
That was the
costume.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
she was like,
bought
"Hey,
a
I'm gonna be Robin. I'm gonna make put all this shit together real quick and scour the
yeah.
streets and see what's up."
Yeah, she bought the costume off like, some place. It wasn't like that was an official Robin suit. She
Right,
saved up her lunch money and bought the suit.
right.
So, um, she's like basically wearing a Halloween costume.
She's cosplaying as Robin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, no,
All right.
I think these McFarlanes look better in person because when they first came out over the summer when they leaked them, I
Mhm.
wasn't very excited about them, but I was excited about the horse. But when you get them in person, you can definitely appreciate them, and the Batman one too. For $25 you get a DKR fig.
Yeah,
So not much to complain about that.
cool.
Superman, I'll open him up, but I don't know if we're going to use him that much. I think the Mafix one will be the go-to one for sure.
Right. I think the Mayf or the Superman, like he's got the bulk and the beef of the DKR Superman. Now his head it doesn't even look like Superman, but you can find some um, aftermarket scaled head sculpt to put on him. You know,
It's funny. I'm holding the Superman in my hand, and this guy is fucking heavy, man. For some reason, he's just significantly heavy.
I mean, literally all he's good for is being a punching bag. I mean, that
Right,
face looks like it's just ready to be punched.
100%. But he's ready to be punched by the Mafix armored Superman. I mean, I was super Batman.
Yeah, because and what's interesting is that before this set came out, McFarlane put out the Armor Dark Knight Returns Batman, but the head sculpt was like their own design. It wasn't even comic based.
You know what?
Now,
Unfortunately, I bought both of them. I bought the repaints because Target had it super early, and I was like, all right, it's here. But man, that was really disappointing. They even put it in like a 2-pack, and it just, I don't know why Todd feels like he could just take all these liberties, and it's just so off the mark with the comic. And like you said, like that Mafex, they nailed it.
it's
That's like a
comic
10 out
accurate.
of 10. 10 out
Right.
of 10. They did their homework. There's no reason to take liberties on such a classic story. Like we don't
Right.
need a makeshift. We want armored Batman.
Well, I mean, with all the other Batman from all the Capullo stories and all that stuff, they made it to look exactly like the story.
Right.
With
They they
with
they
that
just
armored
turned they
Batman,
just
I
turned
don't even
turned
know
the
what they
dial
were
a
doing.
little bit. Right.
Now, with that, they just put out the Superman and Armored Batman 2-pack, like you were saying. But the Batman, his armor is kind of got a blue sheen.
Right.
They did change the head sculpt and make it more comet accurate. I think they realized, oh yeah, we
Yeah, because
see what
I don't know. Yeah, for some reason they want, it's funny that Todd will do anything just for, he'll create a whole new separate figure just for a separate head sculpt. And he did that with the Batman movie. And to me, it's kind of insulting because it's like if you're doing the Drifter Bruce Wayne, um, where one he has a hat, the second he just has his eye makeup on, you're really selling the same figure. Like charge fans $25 and just give them another head sculpt. Don't insult people and make them buy two separate figures for no reason. If you want to up the price by $5, that can clearly cover a head sculpt and a few more hands. Give the customer, give them that feeling like they walked out and didn't get screwed.
Yeah, but you know that's the
That's the
business, I
biz.
guess.
That's the biz. So I've heard.
I mean, I'm gonna go off on that to that point, because someone made a Pennywise figure or Pennywise figures that I've
Yes.
bought like 4 or 5, and each one of them was pretty much the same except for a couple of different head sculpts. And then they recently put out one figure that had all the head sculpts. I mean,
So there's a lot of pros. There's a lot of pros and cons to that because a year
yeah,
ago, because I remember when like NECA started releasing all these, then they did the San Diego one, and that's when I noticed that you started buying these NECA ones, the Pennywises.
right.
So I am
Like, man, they're
noticing
getting
that,
me just for this 2 different head sculpts. God, they're getting me again.
but they are, but I'm sounding a little biased, but now my mindset has changed where I need to buy 4 separate bodies, and if I can get 7 Pennywises and give them all different heads in the same shot, because not that he is a shapeshifter, but he has these abilities to kind of multiply, and you can have these shots where Pennywises you can have 6 or 7 of them in one shot and all these expressions.
That's true.
So, but
I
again,
kind of,
who has the space for that?
I don't know, man. I was just like, when I saw that one set that comes out with all the head sculpts, I was like, for one, I was a little
Here you
triggered.
go, boom. Hold on.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little pissed off.
Oh
But
yeah,
then I was like, you know what? It's a pandemic. Companies got to make their money. They're not spending any extra money on the tooling for the bodies and stuff like that. I get it. Not happy about it, but I get it.
so in total, I just counted. There's about 10 different hands, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. But like you said, it'd be cool to have a shot, and that's a really good idea where you've got like one victim kind of in the middle, but you've got 4 different Pennywise coming at him with different heads,
Right.
or just have a Pennywise gang and Batman's got to take him out.
Naturally. So also what I'm noticing too is so the NECA they've combined the first and the second movie together, which I just noticed right now, which is really cool. So if you don't have any Pennywises, this is an opportunity to have literally all the best head sculpts together. But the reason why NECA released this too is because their paint applications are changing to from conventional paint to digital paint. So the guys in the studio, they're working with the China offices, and they're rendering a lot of these paint applications on computer off of more photorealistic. So when these when it's done digitally, every single one is 100% accurate to how the artist is making it on screen. Where back in the day, before, there's a lot of variation just naturally because all these figures are painted by hand. So now with this new technology, we're getting super high crisp detail for every head sculpt.
You're telling me that on the head sculpt, the eyes, every one of those were painted by hand.
Before, yes.
Really?
So now this whole set is all digitally painted. So you're getting like a lot more detail. And I noticed it when I bought the Halloween 2018 and NECA released the new batch. And I'm looking at the old ones and I'm like, fuck. I don't want to say it looks like shit, but I'm like, man, you're not getting the details that you are nowadays. So going forward, like with these realistic horror ones, NECA's going digital, and it's great. It's a good thing because sometimes you see, I think McFarlane is infamous for that. You go to the McFarlane aisle in Target, or if you get this, like, I saw it in year one, I'm sorry, the year two Batman. There's so many paint mistakes, blotchy symbols, and just inconsistencies, and you're paying for a $50 figure, and you're not getting that value that you should be getting. So I think NECA's taken a step forward into really providing an even better experience for the price, and also more of that realistic film on film screen accuracy is what you're getting from that.
Right.
So this is a home run. It's just starting to hit the stores, but like you said, you and I, we've been collecting every single one, and the fact
And
that
I'll
this
probably
guy
get
comes
that
in,
one.
yeah, I mean, it's highly collectible. It has a lenticular cover, so he's very 3D. The photography is always good. And now you have, I'm going to count right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 heads in one pack. So this is a home run. What? If you can get it, if you can find him in the streets, he's a must-have. Because you can never, like you said, you can never have enough Pennywises.
And I mean, I'm not a prophet. I don't have a crystal ball, but I already know what's going to happen next. Is they're going to release the TV series one with all the heads and all the hands and all that stuff. Yeah, they're going to do the same to that one too.
I have to go downstairs and count. I bought at least, I think, 2 or 3 before.
Yes.
Because they start changing the balloons, and it's like, it's nice to get a break nowadays, because man, we were hunting and we were paying some serious fucking dollars, man.
I've got a closet here where stacked up in their boxes still is one whole wall of nothing but Pennywise.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at that and I was like,
you never got the black and white SDCC, right?
No.
So that's the one that I owe you for my stash, because I think I owed you that one years ago.
Nah, yeah, it was cool, but
but you know what's funny? It's really just a gray washed figure.
Right.
That's what McFarlane's charging full price for now.
Well,
but you know what? It's cool. It's another option.
right.
If you like it, if that's your style. A lot of people like these concepts. People want to know about the process, so it's like that's how a figure is initially made. Before it gets the tooling, and then once it gets painted, there's a base color, but they're usually 3D printed and they're usually gray. So if you're a conceptual person, or maybe if you're a sketch artist that wants to put this figure in a pose, it's a cool setup, and it's also a cool reference if you're into that. So me personally, I like them. I don't need all of them, but if I can get a handful of them, they're cool. And McFarlane started that idea when he did the Kickstarter with Spawn, when he was selling for $250 you get 3 figs. One of them was like an artist series, and that's where he sparked that idea of flooding the market with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's genius. If you're like, I've paid for the tooling. You mean I can sell a version and save money on the paint applications, and people still want this gray version? Sure, why not?
I was telling the guys at work, I said, if NECA did that, the way to properly do it is to provide conceptual sketches and take the person through the whole process, so they get educated and they can really appreciate the final product. Like, hey, what are these raw sketches? Like, what does it take to make it to this point before it gets colored? Kind of like a blueprint.
Right. Yeah. Now, I guess continue with the NECA theme. Both you and I picked up some of the recent Universal Monsters wave.
Yes.
Been waiting so long for these, and I mean, I was shocked when I found these in the store because I didn't know that they were hitting the shelves yet. And so I picked up Wolfman. This is the color version.
Okay.
I did see the black and white version, and that kind of continues that discussion about kind of the gray tone figure. But for that one, it was actually done with a purpose because it was the black and white movie theme.
Right.
But it looks so good. I kind of wish I'd picked it up, but I got the color version. Let me find some photos I uploaded of him. So, okay. There we have
That's great.
the Lon Chaney Jr., human with his bare feet, which is really great because, you can use him as just a normal human in other photos, with other figures and whatnot. But I love the fact that they gave him interchangeable feet with the wolf feet.
Right.
I love this figure, one, because, I love the horror genre, but I feel like they gave me so much that, there's so much value in this. One, the box art.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and it's very much in line with the Frankenstein.
Right.
The box art is just beautiful. I'm keeping this box. I'm not getting rid of this box.
I mean, that's all made on purpose because, Universal Monsters is one of these evergreen staples. And if you're a horror fan, you started off with Universal Monsters before anyone else, because they're timeless. A lot of these movies are over almost 100 years old, or they are 100 years old. And it's just good, clean fun. It's like, man, it doesn't get better than this.
Yeah.
It's
you can see they give you
they captured the photography, and again, I think I'm gonna play like devil's advocate. The only gripe that I have against it is like I think Grumps, or you say, it's kind of like that diaper articulation and they have to do that on purpose because they have to give that movement to the legs so you can have the best posability. So
right.
when you start having those seams with the ball joints, it looks like a diaper and it's kind of funny, but that's how you get the most posability. The guy's wearing khakis, you don't really notice it in this post as much, but
right.
It's not that bad, to be honest.
No, I don't have any complaints with that. I mean, he's a little stiff in the torso. I don't think he has a torso, joint or anything like that. But at the same time, that's very minor for the poses that you're going to use him for.
And again, it's like this photo right here. This is what you're getting for what, $35? Like,
I mean,
NECA is providing value. Like, they're providing ultimate screen accuracy, and character likeness. But man, you're getting. That doesn't include the accessories packs that they're going to start coming out with, right? Because they started doing these reveals. But man, like, you're good. You're good for the next couple of months. Like,
you get
all this shit.
You get a human head. You get two Wolfman heads, and the stoic one, and then the mean expression head.
Yeah, I'm starting to get pissed.
Yeah, you get 3 human hands. You get interchangeable feet. You get the bear trap, the wolf cane, and the stand. But I mean, gosh, you could take out the bear trap and the cane, and I'd still feel like I got my money's worth. This thing, with the right lighting and posing, I mean, it's straight out of the movie. It's amazing. I love it.
Right. I think NECA, they started off with a bang releasing Frankenstein, and I think Frankenstein must have been like one of the top top 5 of last year. They did black and white immediately, and Frankenstein is just one of those things where, and I know you like to do that more, but if he fits into all these cross genres, like people are just doing cool shit where they're doing toy photography with Frankenstein with the little girl. He's holding the flower.
I saw one where
he's
Frankenstein was at a bar, because he comes with that goofy face and he's like drinking
yeah,
a beer with somebody. It was just like,
yeah, like, and then I just saw someone, man, I gotta find who did it, but like someone did toy photography of like him and Wolfman watching a movie together, and they're
yeah,
like, watching the black and white, and Frankenstein is grinning, and they're kind of like, broing out on a Friday night and giggling, and
yeah.
you know, it's from what I know, this has been in the works for years, and
Yeah.
they didn't think it was going to be as big as it was, and I think this is the top 3 in what NECA does and what they're going to continue to do. And we started seeing these accessories packs for the mummy for Frankenstein just got revealed, the
Mm-hmm.
table with the alternate head sculpt. You can go on, man. It's like the price is right, and it's all about mashing shit together and having fun and using your creativity. That's what makes toy photography so unique for everyone. So it's like NECA is giving you these tools that for years ago you would have had to pay triple or quadruple the amount for a custom piece, and they're
Oh
already
yeah.
doing it for you. And
Oh
and
yeah.
some of these boxes, like you said, the boxes are like they're really collectible. They're pieces of art.
Oh, they are.
These there's a little shininess to it. Like there's a matte, and then there's this gloss over it. So
I
these
mean,
are this takes a lot of time to make, man. Like I
this
sit next to the guy that makes this, Chris, and he does a fucking awesome job. Like he has it down to a science.
dude.
But
Shout out
yeah,
to Chris.
Chris Ramo. Yeah, if you want to know who does what, everything's all on the bottom here. So
Oh, okay. Didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah, they tell you, they give you proper credit. But um, yeah, let's talk about the Boris Karloff mummy.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like
Ridiculous.
right, yeah, like right now, this might be the top 3, one of the top 3 figs of the year. Like what you're getting, the articulation, expression. Like this is a fucking statue on wheels. Like
I
this
mean,
guy is moving. He is like, yeah, this is. You really can't get better than this, to be honest. Like,
no, because I mean, the head sculpts alone, you get 3 head sculpts. You get this one where he looks like he's like, trying to talk or whatever,
yeah,
and then you get one with his eyes closed, very stoic, and then you get one where his eyes open. I mean, creepy as hell. You get alternative hands. You get some flowing
bandages.
bandages, and then you get also, what is this? Some kind
Is
of
it?
chest with
Yeah. It has like papyrus in it. It has like the Egyptian sphinxes on there. So once again, attention to details. NECA did not disappoint.
yeah.
This figure is like a 9.5, almost a 10, man. You really can't ask for more for the money and the scale. And this has a good amount of articulation, and it doesn't have a lot of visible points. You could just see off of this photo, like the money is put into like the arm. You see some points of articulation, but they've done a really nice job hiding it in the legs because of all the bandages and stuff. So
This one would be really cool to army build. Get about 3 of them and kind of
just
create a scene where all these mummies are come to life and attacking someone.
Batman, Batman's fighting the mummies.
Obviously, Batman's got to fight mummies.
Obviously.
But yeah, man, I love this one. So, I mean, such a simple character, but he could be used in so many cool ways. And again, the art on the box, I mean, It's just crazy. Shout out to Chris, man.
Yeah, my buddy Chris. The guys at NECA, they're all just nerds, man. They're just fans that love this shit just as much as the
Probably
people
my
buying
favorite
it.
one is the packaging for the black and white Wolfman.
Yeah.
If you have it, you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, I only know that through our chats because
He's like hubba hubba.
yeah. Yeah, we should you know what? I'll talk to the guys. Maybe we can get some of the guys on the show.
All right.
That'd be fun. That way you can give them proper due.
Sweet.
Actually, since we're the NECA world, we have one more thing to talk about, right? Maybe one or two more.
Oh yeah.
In the horror vein.
Okay. Show us what you got.
You want to talk about so this one is highly anticipated Halloween 2 40th edition. Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers from part 2. And so this was highly anticipated and waited by collectors because NECA released the Michael Myers Loomis set. I want to guess maybe 12 years ago, 13 years ago, where it was like the kid Michael Myers, I believe, with Loomis. And once it went out of production, this figure was untouchable. Like it was going for $250, $300 off, third party sellers. And a lot of people didn't get it, and they're like, shit, like all these Michael Myers figures are getting released and no one had Loomis's. So now NECA, to celebrate the 40th anniversary, has created the ultimate Loomis and Michael fig. So this might be one of the best sets, highly anticipated, comes with just a lot of shit.
I mean, look at all this.
Yeah, I think it might retail for $75, but it is well worth it. Like Myers is cool, but like you said before we started the show, like it's all about Loomis. Like he captured everything, man. Like
and I love the smart design where they give you interchangeable arms where you can take that trench coat off and then he's in his suit.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And the hands work, interchangeably. So you've really got two characters right there. You're really getting three figures out of this.
Yes, 100%. And they nailed the likeness of Donald Pleasance. Perfect. You get your Bloody Myers, and chances are, if you're a big NECA fan, you probably have that version of Myers, but I don't know if they really changed it this much, but it comes with like the homage to the skull pumpkin in the, every Halloween has like their own intro.
Right.
You can't go wrong with a bloody Myers mask.
Dude,
and I don't have to tell you.
Accessories too. I mean,
like
these accessories, the flames, the hammer, looks like is it a syringe needle?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, because Michael kills I believe one of the nurses with a syringe when she's in the hot tub. So, in the beginning of part 2 in the hospital. So, yeah, like I said, this was highly anticipated for a long time. The paint apps are great. I love it, and to make this even more special, this has the artwork has the the artwork of the company that I also help out with, Fright Rags. And the artwork is from Justin Osborne, gets the credit right down here. So Justin Osborne does a lot of the artwork for Fright Rags. So this was a really cool mashup where NECA is teaming up with these leaders in apparel, and they're using this custom art to represent their figures. So that needs to happen more. It makes a lot of fans know, like myself, like I collect apparel, I design apparel, I'm a big toy guy. So when you start merging all these two worlds, it's like, it's fucking eye candy for me. And it's exciting to see my friends have their artwork on the boxes of the places that I work at. So it's like shit, like it is like multiverse shit going on over here. And it's really exciting to see.
I imagine being, you said Justin?
Yeah,
Imagine
Justin Osborne.
Just walking
Shout
through a
out to him.
Target and seeing your artwork on these shelves.
yeah.
I mean, dude, how cool is that?
Yeah, no, Justin is a rock star too. But again, it's just really exciting, man. It's what makes things fresh and new, like I say with everything, is like collaboration. So when you start fusing these artists with this awesome product, you get something special. You get this fan experience that people just want more of. And everything, look at this detail. Like, you can't throw these boxes away. They're just
No.
made with so much TLC, and the quality is really sturdy. And I think that's why we're prone to like buying more than one, because like we want to see it in its complete form, but then we also want to have it to pose and photo. So
Yeah.
if you can find this just started hitting targets. This is a must-have for any Halloween fan. So
Definitely. I mean, that is a must-have. And again, it's to me, and I'm sure other collectors feel the same. I love how you always feel like you get your money's worth with NECA, because you get a quality figure, but then you also get so many accessories that you can use for these figures or all of your other ones.
right. Yeah, like
Love it.
Todd has his own thing going on with 20, but if you're willing to kind of collect and spend 35, you get a whole new range of product. So
And that's a good point, and it's a fair point. It's where, like you said, Todd is wanting to play in that 20 to
mainstream,
25,
right?
That range for kind of the, I don't know what.
I
Still,
would call it mainstream, but also the comic fan. Like
if you want to take your kid and get him a toy, you're not breaking the bank.
right,
And if they play with it rough, you're not hurting. Whereas if you play with a mezco, you're like, oh, dude, don't play with that. That's not for you. But at the same time, Todd is doing a really good job, I think. With putting out some characters and some
right,
figures from comic related stories. Yeah, they put out some movie stuff, but their bread and butter is more in the comic influence figures. And
right. Yeah,
I I certainly
you also
appreciate this guy. I certainly appreciate the Swamp Thing that I just got. I
right.
certainly appreciate.
That's two home runs, and you're spending $40, and you felt good about the purchase.
Yeah, I certainly love the Bizarro that I've got. I mean, I
Right,
love the left field figures and characters that he's bringing out that Mattel kind of shied away from, or you would hardly see, and it would cost you a lot to track them down on the secondary market. Now we're getting updated versions, and we're going to be getting more. We're going to start getting some Blackest Night
oh yeah,
line, and I can't wait. I
right,
loved all the DC Direct Blackest Night. I've got them all sitting right here, but with NECA, and their bread and butter is film and movie
right,
horror, and
right. TMNT, of course, but
right, they're kind of separating themselves. They're like, we're not going and trying to be in that niche, um, $100 range for those type of collectors, like the Mezcos, the Figuarts, the Mafix. They could if they wanted to, but they want to stay within that $25 to $40 range and still
Right.
give you more. You're getting, I think their sculpts are getting a lot better. I really like their Predator line. They've they've improved the body articulation on those, and they're these new the Halloweens, the Universal monsters. I mean, those are just
Yeah.
awesome.
They're doing these licenses they're keeping these licenses alive, like Friday 13th.
Yeah, we're going to be getting some RoboCop soon, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
not only
actually,
RoboCop, but unmasked Peter Weller likeness RoboCop.
so Randy fought to tooth and nail to find Peter Weller and get his approval and sign the deal. So
Yeah,
shout out to Randy. He's been there for 20 years and he's the face of the franchise, and he's a genius, man. Like he loves figures. Like I said before, like these guys, they're bigger fans than the people that buy it, and it's highly detailed for a reason, because
yeah.
they want to make them for themselves. Yeah, they love you guys, but it's like, yo, we want this to happen. Like whether it's Gremlins
Oh yeah,
or
Gremlins.
Predator or Alien, aliens. Those are just
Oh yeah, the Alien line, dude.
it just
So
doesn't stop.
it won't stop, and they're even getting into the game versions. Every
Right.
time I walk down the NECA row, I'm like, golly, man,
Yeah,
something new
you
every
have
time
to
I
like
walk
convince you have to convince yourself and be like, I can't get this alien. I can't bring this home.
in. I have a lot of the aliens too. I'm looking at about
And they're not small. And they're not.
no, but they're so cool. I love the army build, and the xenomorphs are a treat to build.
Yeah,
But
because I know what you really appreciate. And it's like you like to cross worlds and make things look seamless. So it's like Alien, Predator, all these licenses, they slip through and can just fit into multiple worlds easily.
yeah, very much so.
Yep.
So, yeah, a lot of new things. A lot of great hauls here in the last month or so. A lot of great stuff from NECA. A lot of great stuff from McFarlane too. Lots of great
Yeah.
stuff from Mafix. We like to look at and collect, all across the lines. And it's awesome when, like you said, they're making them at such high quality that us as collectors and the people that do toy photography can kind of mix and match them and create, new ideas and new stories and things of that nature. But
Yeah,
uh,
I think people, there's definitely a strong influx of things coming in. I feel like, I read in just a lot of toy groups, and I think people are kind of just they're ready to kind of start focusing on things that they love. Like originally a year or two ago with McFarlane and everyone else, everyone wanted to be a completionist and they wanted to get the whole
yeah,
line. And there's just so many things coming out. It's like you just got to pump your brakes and just get what you love and not worry about completing the line all the time. It's not really all about that. It's really people have to start really focusing on the fact that they got to focus on collecting. It's like there's a lot of negativity with a lot of shit nowadays, but collect what you want and what makes you happy and what pushes your creativity to kind of start morphing these worlds together, and you can put your
no,
own spin on shit. So
right.
that's what I'm kind of pushing myself, because I'm just like, I don't need everything. We don't have the space, but let's be selective and get these really cool pieces that kind of speak to our interests.
Well, TEEZUS, I need to see some more toy photos from you.
Yeah, it's time. I mean, Lord knows that I have the toys, so
especially
That-
with that Michael Myers set.
Yeah, you're right. It's just way too good. So yeah, hopefully by the next time we meet again, hopefully let's all. I know Grumps will have some photos for us. You'll have something on the skillet. Hopefully, maybe I can show one or two. And
Sure.
let's, I'd like to be on here more so we can start mashing stuff together and talking about shit that's coming out, because every week it just doesn't stop. But
No, it doesn't stop, and it won't stop, and we won't either. But
that's right.
all right. Well,
I think we've hit the mark.
there you go. So
The mark.
G&T Takeover,
Number 25.
number 25 is in the book. BLVUS.
BLVUS.